Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Girl, Is That Legal? With your host, attorney Simone Redwine. Thank you guys for joining me today. I wanted to come on. I know it's summer, I know it's Friday evening, but it's been a minute. And I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me as I've been revamping how I'm doing things, restructuring things. And honestly, I've just been overwhelmed this summer. I have been utterly overwhelmed. So today, though, first, I'm trying out a new mic. So let me know. Drop a wine glass or a thumbs up if my sound is all right. Let me know. Because we're about to get into this tea today, y'all. We're going to get into this legal tea. Hey, y'all. Okay, it looks like you can hear me just fine. So we have a few topics we're going to cover today, as you can probably tell from the headline. So we're going to talk about Fox Soul and the drama they have going on over there. We're going to be talking about doubling down with the Derricos and how they went through the very recent divorce, and how it is that the husband for 14 kids ended up having to pay it's about $1,100 a month in child support for 14 kids. We got the tea on that one. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the game, his lawsuit, as well as his new alleged baby mama. And as we go, if you got any questions, go ahead, drop them in the comments. Oh, actually, let me also make sure, hold on, I have turned everything on my YouTube studio. Hold on. So I need to make sure I'm getting monetized. I got bills to pay. Oop, hold on, we there. YouTube studio, huh? Oh, and I have a big announcement that I'm super excited about. Here we go. Let me double check and make sure I turned everything on. Because usually I have help, but I'm doing it, by myself now. So here we go. We got the live. Yes. Okay, it's on. And nope, I didn't have the monetization on. Now I have it. Boom. Boom. Okay, we're ready to go now. We ready to go, y'all. Now, first, I'm going to start with my great news. So I'm super excited that I am finally launching my first ever ebook. So I've written an ebook. It is called, we're going to go to my little page so you can see it. You can go to, let me do it over here, SimoneRedwine.com, my name. Here we go. I'm going to share that tab. And how do we do this? Share screen. Wait. Oh, here we go. There you go. So this is my website. So you can go right here. My new book is called Background Checks 101, a beginner's guide to discovering who the heck you are really dealing with. And I'm super excited. It's going to be brief, but it's to the point. And not only does my ebook teach you how to do beginners background checks, but I'm also launching a members only Facebook group for those who buy my book pre-sale. So if you get it this weekend, you can join that group for free. And in that group, as you're trying out background checks and trying to do different things, you can use that group. You can use that community to help each other out. So let's say, there's a document that you want that's in a different county. Well, someone else will be like, oh, girl, I live in that county. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. So my goal with this is so that you have a community of people you can work together to help make sure we are keeping ourselves safe, whether it's in the dating context, right? Because nowadays we're meeting a lot of people online. We're not just meeting somebody at the church or, somebody your cousin introduced you to. But also, this could be someone, let's say you're having to hire a caregiver for your family member. And you want to make sure this person isn't a nut, before you bring them into your home or have them look over your loved one. So background checks 101. The pre-sale amount, it's only $12.99. You can't lose. You can't lose there. So definitely check that out at SimoneRedwine.com. The ebook is going to be coming out this weekend. Let's go ahead and get into the Derricos. Y'all, let's start there because I'm seeing the different comments in the group. Let me pull this from the stage and we're going to switch it up. These poor Derricos. Now, yes, y'all. So basically, they are going through a divorce. Let me switch this up. Hold on. Divorce. I know everybody was like, what? How? Yeah. She gave a little update on how the kids are doing, which is great. That's cute. But really, what we need to talk about is this divorce is wild. Okay, here we go. We're going to share this tab instead. I don't care about the little commercial. We're gonna go from that. But basically, what's going on with the Derricos is, if you've been following the show, they have been married for approximately 18 years. It says 19 years correctly. Correction. They've been married for 19 years, and they have 14 children together. 14. That's right. I believe one of them, maybe the 15th, is the oldest. Okay, here are the ages. It goes all the way from 4 years old to 18. So the oldest one, because that child is still in high school, like a high school age student or going to be college age, that child is counted in the 14. But yes, the court ordered that basically dad, get this off the screen. No, don't want none of this. Hold on. That basically the dad only has to pay, look how cute they were, about $1,100 a month. That's right, only about $1,100 a month for those kids. And so when people were seeing this, they're like, what in the tarnation? Here's how that happens, y'all. That's the poverty level. Now they're in the state of Nevada. I shouldn't say poverty level, but basically it is. That is literally the minimum that the state can allow. So what that means is this: he ain't got no money. He ain't got no money. And it's not even, yes, someone is writing here. She says, RPC says, that's not even $100 a child. It's not. It's actually $89 a child per month. So I was looking into this because I was like, okay. How does this happen? And not only that, so he basically gets to pay $90 a month per child, and she is actually responsible for their health insurance. That's how bad it is. So, in doing my research, here's the issue. And this is also why they're divorcing. So many people were like, 19 years and 14 kids. We working it out. We working it out. Where's my gavel? Where's my gavel? She's sick of him. She is sick of his SHIT. That's how we got here. First of all, I don't know if you're aware, but basically, he's the head of the household. He's the leader. I'd always wondered, what do you do, sir? Especially with you running around nowadays with this blonde hair on your head, clearly going through a midlife crisis, bless his heart. So he allegedly works in real estate. Now, if you know my story, you know my situation. I'm really big on selecting a man with strong leadership skills. This man works in real estate. Please tell me why he has put the family through five. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different foreclosures. They have gone through 5 different foreclosures. No, correction, 6 foreclosures and 5 bankruptcies. She has just simply said, enough is enough. So here we go. I'm going to share this first article with you guys. So this is an article from last year. Here we go. This is an article from last year's. It says Derrico Diggs. This is the father, the real estate mogul father. The real estate mogul father. That it says he gains full ownership of their $400,000 home after his wife begs for a bigger home. Well, I looked further into it. The reason she wants a bigger house is that they got 2 bathrooms for 14 people. Whereas he had other properties that he had, they just all had been they went into foreclosure. And more specifically, it appears that he was not being honest with his wife as to the state of the financial affairs. Can you imagine living in this house? It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, right? With your 14 kids. That means y'all got to share 2 bathrooms. And then you getting a foreclosure notice on your door. And you just had, it started about 2022, 23, and you just had a baby. And you got to figure out, where am I going to take all these kids, pack them all up? Because we got knocks on the door because my real estate mogul leader husband don't know how to pay a mortgage. So here we go. It goes down here. It says, so here, this part of the article, it says the son can exclusively claim that basically this was a situation in 2023. He had the husband, Dion. It says Dion had a business partner, and that his business partner signed a deed. His business partner only had 5%. And that man sold his 5% stake in the house to Rec Enterprises. That is the real estate company. And he did that last year. After doing that, they then owned all of the home. Now, this is supposed to be the home that's their primary residence, right? So that's that home, and it was currently estimated around $419,000. Now, they ultimately were able to pay that debt off, right? But This was the most recent home basically they were able to save after a bunch of rigmarole and drama. Somebody said, "Does that mean he doesn't have a job?" Yes. That's my point. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying. So his job is to be this real estate investor. And it's like, okay, I can't trust you to lead in the one thing that you claim to be good at, that's your profession, that's supposed to create the financial stability for me and 14 other people. What can I really trust you to get right? Nothing. Somebody Quita said, "You got to be more careful." This is correct. Now, here's the foreclosure hell. So, this is the kind of the backstory. It said this situation with their last house, it comes after the house featured on the TV show Doubling Down went into foreclosure and was sold. Here's the thing: if I own a title company, my title company in Texas, we can close you anywhere in the state of Texas. If you have a real estate closing, definitely hit us up. It's called Experience Title. You can go to our website, Experience Title LLC. One of the things that we know with foreclosure, it takes a long time for the actual sale. That means he could have you have time to sell it to someone else. You have time to do what's called a short sale, meaning if the house isn't worth what you owe, you can coordinate and work with the bank. But that only happens if you're honest with your partner and you're honest with yourself about what's going on. You can't keep lying about this stuff. Somebody said, and so Taya said, instead of having relations with him, she should have been sending him to work. That's true. Wait, here's the thing. You all know, I dated someone who was self employed and wanted to be self employed in their industry. And this is what I can tell you about reality show men and why I would never date another one. Once they get on TV, they think they too good to go work for anybody else. They don't want to go work for anybody else, despite the fact that their business sucks. Okay. My ex was terrible when he was self-employed. And I used to say all the time, get a job. Get a job. Because I was like, this is ridiculous. It is better to have a paycheck cut by somebody else than to be losing money every month, but to be able to be like, oh, I own my own business. Don't nobody care if you own your own business, if your business sucks, if your house is in foreclosure, if you can't pay your bills and you steal your wedding money. Oh, sorry. Let me just stop telling my personal business. You get it. So here, somebody said, what happened with the reality TV money? Chances are that money was probably enough just for the basics. It was enough for a lot of what he had going on. Like, feeding 14, well, actually 16 people in the household, right? Because the two parents feeding 16 people. But he's got these other properties and their mortgages. And if he's buying, because what happened with the house that they lived in, like the house before this that we were talking about, it was not worth what he owed on it. When you have that, you screwed. That means you paid too much and a variety of other things. So more than likely, what he was doing was my ex used to do, which was rather than acknowledging defeat, acknowledging, okay, I made a bad investment. All business people do that. Oh, Connie, I'm gonna get to your statement. All business people do that. You will there is not a business you can be in on your own, right? Without making a bad choice here or there or losing some money. It's normal. The problem becomes when you're unable to step away from that bad deal and you let it get worse and worse and worse. Again, this man done let, what did it say? 5 or 6 houses go into foreclosure. Hold on. We're gonna go to that. I want to make sure I state that number correct. Blah, 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 blah. This is the last house. It says real estate hell. Here we go. This is the first time Dion, who works in real estate, allegedly, has lost his home due to debt. The Sun previously reported that 6 of his Michigan homes went into foreclosure. Say, ma'am, sir, get a job. Get a job. You like houses so much, go start building them, but you sure as hell can't seem to sell them, flip them, or anything else. So it says that yes, 6 of his Michigan houses went into foreclosure. The Sun also revealed that the parents, husband and wife, have filed for bankruptcy 5 times. 5 times. So the truth is, part of the way in which he was able to get away with paying such low child support is likely because of these things. On their taxes, historically, they probably filed very little money, paid very little taxes. So what I see happen a lot is clients will come to me and say, "Oh, I need a consultation. I think I want to get a divorce." Say, "Okay, pull your tax returns, have all these things done." And because it's not something I do, but one of the things that I do is I pair you with the best and the brightest in your county for consultations for various things. We come up with a team and a strategy to get you what you need. So I've done one of these in the last year. They pulled the taxes. The problem is her child support was going to be extraordinarily low because the two of them were committing tax fraud effectively. They were underreporting their taxes. So your child support will be set on whatever your taxes say, right, has been your income. You don't get together with your spouse and claim little to no taxable income. And here he likely had low taxable income because he had losses from running every house he had into foreclosure. Okay. So when that happens, then child support is going to be set low. Also, I guarantee you, having been in reality TV, that the two of their salaries are the same. So when the both of you have the same salary and you're doing 50-50 custody, it's my assumption that they went for the equivalent of 50-50 custody. Then usually there isn't much just paid to the other partner unless it's here. He is the sole one working. He's still the one that's working. So that's how come he was able to get away with just the 1100, is because their taxes likely showed little to no income. The income that was showed was identical for the most part, right? Because their salary would be whatever they get on the reality show, and they both make the same amount from the reality show. And then he has a little bit of income from this like real estate foolishness that he be dibbling and dabbling in. So I hope that helps. Somebody said, yeah, they thought, yeah. Oh, yes. The other part that was very interesting here, y'all, they got divorced in 2 days. I ain't never seen nothing like this. I've never seen anything like this. What that means is they had been discussing it behind the scenes. What that means is they had really good lawyers. They knew what needed to be done, and they knew that this was not something that could be drawn out and made big and ugly in the media. And that's because the network that they're on, TLC, that's a family friendly network. In fact, the wife, she's probably been wanting to do this back when they had bankruptcy number 3 or 4 or 5, bankruptcy number 5, or perhaps when they had foreclosure number 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. So she's probably wanted that for a while, but thought, gosh, if I do this, and her sole source of income, right, has been the show, then that's a challenge. But we also know they got a 4-year-old, so they've been doing it to each other. It's not like they have not been intimate, but it's all of this has been catching up. So they filed for divorce, I want to say June the 4th, and they were divorced. It was executed by the 6th. So what that means is everyone agreed to everything far beforehand. The lawyers drew it up, and anybody can do that in any state. This was Nevada. That's just how through she probably was with him. I'm gonna say she was probably that through with him, because given that she was not a breadwinner, she wasn't the one running all these houses into foreclosure and causing them to go bankrupt 6 times. I didn't even know you could file bankruptcy 6 times. Like, somebody said, oh yeah, somebody says she needs a spinoff show and take us through how she stayed this long and kept popping out babies. Lord have mercy. Somebody said he got to be filing bankruptcy every 5 to 7 years. Yeah, well, if they were together, let's think about this, y'all. They were together 19 years and filed bankruptcy 5 times. Now, sometimes what happens is you file, but you might withdraw it. Actually, that is likely what happened. Here's why. When you file for bankruptcy, it actually stops the foreclosure. So now that we know, it's not funny. That's not funny. I'm thinking out loud as I process this. But now that we know he's had 6 foreclosures, more than likely the majority of those bankruptcies were filed to halt or prevent some of those foreclosures. Because who knows, it could have been 10 foreclosures, because some of those houses again were supposed to be his investment properties. Somebody said, make you a moderator. I sure will next time. Can you send me a DM or a message? If you go to my website, SimoneRedwine.com, it's got my email on there where I can make you a moderator. But yeah, basically, a lot of those were probably filed because he's just not good at this. And I don't know what he could do for a job, but it's time for him to get a job. So we're going to wrap up this and we're going to switch it over. Hold on. Somebody asked me, what in the Sam Hill is going on? But y'all, I knew something was up with them when old boy popped up with that blonde hair. Look, when you see that man is 52 years old. when you see a 52-year-old Black man dye his hair blonde, he going through some type of midlife crisis. He is reevaluating some things. He is. Mm, mm. We just gonna pray for him. I love the show. I love the family. I think they're great people. I just think he's a lost man who wants to lead in an area he lacks capacity in. Just go, sir. Just UPS is hiring. They are paying up to $100,000. Sir, go deliver some packages. Amazon, deliver some packages. Uber, don't let this reality show foolishness make you feel like you are better than a normal, wholesome, legal job where you can keep your pants on and still make 100K. Do it. So wait. So Connie asked, wait, no, not stole your wedding money. Yeah, in other interviews I've disclosed how part of the reason I'm so passionate about my ebook, which is Background Checks 101, that's coming out this weekend, that you can get from my website, SimoneRedwine.com, is because I thought I was gonna get married to the love of my life, but last summer, actually last summer, I woke up and checked the bank accounts because I had to get ready to pay the down payment, and instead of like nearly 10,000 in the bank account, we had $15.37. He had stole the money and used it to pay his car notes and child support and whatever made him happy. Whatever made him happy. Mm. Anyway, that's for another topic for another day. All right. Next up is the game. And we will close out. We're going to talk about the Foxo business. And I got to hurry up because tonight I am going to be on with Al Reynolds, his show, Court of Public Opinion. But you know me, I am going to give that tea. By tea, I mean, I'm going to give my thoughts and my opinions unbiased. What she said. It was Detroit, Michigan. Not telling what. Oh, somebody said, as far as the guys' houses, the Derrico's houses, they said, I mean, it was Detroit, Michigan. No telling what those houses were worth. That's quite true. And Community and Culture said, yep, blonde hair, motorcycle or Corvette smells like midlife crisis. Absolutely. And honestly, I don't want to put this on this marriage, but we know that man like a lot of sex because that's a whole bunch of kids. But a lot of times when they do those things, they didn't want to run around and get young women. I'm going to tell you right now, one of y'all little girls pop up. This man is 52 years old in midlife crisis. Y'all pop up dating that man. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you on the internet. I'm going to the comments. I might use my little back. My cousin said I got to make a backup page because I be in the comments too much. She's probably right. But I'm gonna talk about you because I want to know what type of mental disabilities, what kind of IEP do you have if you think you want to go and shack up and do it to a 52-year-old blonde-headed Black man, dyed blonde hair at that, who just divorced a wife of 19 years with 5 foreclosures and 6 bankruptcies. I want to know. Yes, $15.37. Yes, bro. Yes. Somebody said, no, I'm not paying his child support. No. Oh, baby, I love that baby. I love his son now, but we gonna come up with something. You just need to get a job. You need to get a job. My parents' wedding fund should not be what you use to pay your child support and then or your car notes. And then when I'm holding you accountable, you tell me, well, I did it for us. Baby, if that's what you do for us, I want to see what you do for your damn self. Because I don't need that kind of us. Let me back to the game. We're going to the game. We're going to the game. Here we go. Oh, share this. The game. Next up is the game. Thank you. I am thriving. Someone says, I need to discuss the Amazon lawsuit in California with the labor laws broken. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can get my boo, Jamie Wright, who is a California employment lawyer, to come and break it down. She is very good with that Amazon suit. Community says, I wrote IEPs for 8 years. Anybody picking that man, send them her way. We need to talk. So an IEP stands for, basically it is think of like a like when you go to the doctor, like your case plan, your workup for like, okay, your treatment plan. It's like your educational treatment plan. It's generally for slow learners, special needs, or it can also be like a genius student who needs special accommodations to work with them. But usually it's somebody with some special needs. Okay. Somebody said that man insulted my intelligence. Thank you. Individual educational plan. So a lot of students with ADD, that's one of the most common ones. ADD students will have them. People that are on the spectrum will have them. But sometimes you also do have that for like very smart students. All right, now the game, y'all. All right, so the game popped up this week. He is rumored to be the baby daddy for Evelyn Lozada's daughter, Shanice. I think it's her name, Shanice. And Shanice she's a grown woman. She is 29. I think she just made 30. So it's not like she's a young girl. But some people are like, oh, look at that. So a lot of people are like, oh, who's the ball player? But it's rumored to be the game. She had been dating the game for quite a while. But I don't know, y'all. I kind of hope it's not the game because, you know, mm, let me be nice. How do I say? Basically, I don't want anybody to have to work, like fall into like a financially, nobody wants to bring a child into the world financially unstable. And let's just be clear. With the game now owes $7 million to a woman on a reality show that accused him for sexual assault. And this is so fascinating to me, y'all. 7 million. Because this crazy fool, and this was awarded by a jury because he thought he was too good for court. I'm going to read you the excerpt here. Hold on, we got it. Oh, I can't see it. Here's the excerpt for this foolishness. It says, the issue was, first let me tell you what he's accused of. Okay, the rapper whose legal name is Jayceon starred in VH1's Bachelor-esque series called She's Got Game. While filming in Chicago in 2015, he took Priscilla Rainey on a date to a sports bar. It wasn't filmed. And she says that he sexually assaulted her by repeatedly lifting her skirt and groping her while others in the bar watched. Fast forward, so she sues him. She gets an attorney and sues him. The issue was the judge says Taylor did not take the litigation seriously. Now, this is an appeals court judge. The jury awarded $7 million. And then he couldn't believe it. So he then tried to appeal it. The appeals court judge says Taylor did not take the litigation seriously. Summarizing case, he said he evaded process, meaning he tried to dodge being served. He said he trolled Rainey on social media. He dodged a settlement conference and didn't even bother to show up at trial. A lawyer's worst nightmare. It says his attorney asked for a continuance, but the judge denied that request, dismissing his excuse as a very elaborate ruse. The thing about trial dates are set, it could be 10 months in advance, a year in advance. Look, if you yourself are not in the hospital, you better show up when you have something like this at risk. Then further, it says ultimately a jury in November of 2016. So this has been going on for a year. A jury in 2016 awarded her 1.3 million in compensatory damages and another 6 million in punitive damages. The game moved for a new trial, challenging, among other things, the denial of a continuance that the judge told the jury it could assume that the game's absence meant his testimony would have been unfavorable to him. That is absolutely true. A judge can absolutely tell the jury that. You can give that instruction to a jury if the defendant chooses not to show up to a trial and where the defendant claims there's certain evidence out there that would have been helpful to his side, right? And he either destroys the evidence or hides it or something. I've had a court instruct a jury that the reason this was destroyed is because it would have helped prove my case. I actually used to do a lot of hip implants and knee implant litigation. And one of the companies that we were going against, these mofos had thousands and thousands of the knee implant devices, right? They destroyed, like, I'm talking, they had like 2,500 left over after it got recalled by the FDA. They destroyed all before. And the 4 that were left, they used them to do some testing and claim they could only find like 1 or 2. Baby, I wrote the best motion, and the judge agreed with me and said that we can tell the jury the reason they destroyed the 2,500 is they would have proven my point. So, of course, we got millions. Here further, it says, ultimately a jury awarded her. It said the judge told the jury it could assume that the game's absence meant his testimony would have been unfavorable to him, and that the judge allowed the jury to see video of the tour bus confrontation when the girl was like, why did you touch me like that? Blah, blah, blah. It says the game alternatively asked the judge to reconsider the damages award if he wasn't going to overturn the ruling. The U.S. District Judge denied all of those motions, and he appealed and obviously lost. So the point here is, baby, if you are ever, especially when you're a celebrity, like, don't be stupid. Show up to trial. Show up to trial, because then, at least then, you can fight for a more reasonable verdict. But also, the thing about this is there should have been insurance in place that would have covered and protected him for a variety of different things. Now, interestingly, this victim, she also sued Viacom, but the lawsuit against Viacom was dismissed. So that was interesting. I'm gonna say, and boy, Eric, aka adopted the Derrico man child. She said, "Up the game, acting like Shiloh Sanders." Ain't you telling the truth? I'm watching the time because I gotta hop over, and um I'm gonna join Al tonight. But earlier this week, if you saw the Monday episode of Court of Public Opinion, which you can see here on my channel, you would have seen I broke down a little bit the situation with Shiloh Sanders. Basically, Shiloh, who is Dion's son, got a $12 million default judgment against him. That was because he chose not to go to court when a security guard at his high school sued him because he beat the man up for taking his cell phone. You know, you're not supposed to have a cell phone at school. He was not, he was on his cell phone. It's one thing to have it out, it's different to be on it. He was on it. He was instructed to give it to the security guard. He did, and the security guard took it. He beat that man so bad, allegedly the man's like neck and back and spine, all of these things. So the man sued and was awarded 12 million. So what does Shiloh do? File for bankruptcy. And the bankruptcy court said, no, honey. See, y'all can't keep taking these pages in the book from Miss Tasha K. Just like Tasha K got a hell no when she tried to file for bankruptcy, you cannot file for bankruptcy and still be earning millions and be like, sorry, Your Honor, I ain't got it. That's not what bankruptcy is for. Bankruptcy is for those who either truly don't have it or are seeking a reorganization of their finances or something else. But it's hella suspicious when people get a verdict that they don't like, that'll be of millions, and then immediately try and go and file bankruptcy when everything else in their life looked just the same. It's not like he's got a new, like a multi-million dollar, like some people will deal with cancer or a serious illness. And that is part of the cause or the reason they need to file for bankruptcy. Or maybe you have a huge investment that went upside down. No, all he did was a verdict. And so bankruptcy is not the way to avoid most verdicts. All right. Somebody said great parenting skills there, Dion. Actually, Dion, from my reading of the facts, was that um, his son was on the phone with his mama. And Dion and the mom do not get along. Everybody knows Dion and Pilar had a real messy divorce. And the son didn't get along with the mom. And because the son in the middle of school was on the phone with the mother, Dion had instructed the security to take the phone. So there's that. Somebody said, I remember when 50 after losing his case to Rick Ross's baby mom. Oh, you know what? I need to pull that up. I need to pull that up. Thank you. Yes, everyone hit that like button. And then last but not least, let me pull this down. All right, we're going to talk about this foxhole thing. I got a few minutes. I want to hear your thoughts in the chat. So TGIF is absolutely one of my favorite foxhole shows. That one and Isaiah Factor, which you can frequently find me on a few times a month. Generally, I'm on there as a legal expert, giving my take on this or that. But if you watch Make It Make Sense, one of my buddies, the YouTuber, he does a really good breakdown of his understanding of the situation and the drama, as well as Really BTV. And in the description in below, I'm gonna pin comments that have links to each of their videos. But I'm gonna summarize kind of the issue. So basically, for a while, those of us viewers who have been watching it could tell that the chemistry was a bit off between Claudia and Al. We could kind of see that. And this was even before Funky Dineva had left. Then Funky Dineva leaves, Armand joins. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying getting used to Armand as the new co-host, etc. Then a week ago, or now it's a week and a half ago, it was Al's birthday, and Armand does a roast. In the roast, some people excuse me, some people felt he went a little too far. Now, I'm not going to replay the roast, but they do a really good job on Mims' Make It Make Sense video, as well as Really BTV, talking, going through it. The gist of it is Armand throws a number of different digs that Tasha K later went in to say that basically Claudia was feeding Armand drama and issues and blah, blah, blah to create more drama on the show. Tasha K also came in and said that Claudia confided in her. Nobody confides in Tasha K, first of all. If you tell Tasha K something, it's because you want the world to know. I think we can all agree with that. And she basically says that Claudia talks about how she does not like working with Al and Funky and that she's tired of dealing with those guys and she's over them. The end result was that after the roast, Al calls up his boy Funky Dineva, and it happens to be while Funky is on air on his own YouTube channel. And basically he says, listen, you need to listen, take a look, you need to watch the show. And Funky is like, I'm on the air. He said, I don't give a care. Watch it. And you need to see what happened. He was livid. And so now, according to Really BTV, part of the issue is Al is upset. Al wants an investigation done into the way he's being treated, that behind the scenes, Fox Soul is on a hiatus. We don't know if it's for a week. We don't know if it's for 2 weeks or what have you, but to investigate what happened, both whether or not Armand stepped outside of, I guess, the parameters of what should have been appropriate in that roast, and whether they can continue. So I want to see in the chat, I want to see if you were one of those coworkers. Whether you are Claudia, I'm going to just say Claudia or Al, right? Because those are the two who have been there the longest. If after this hiatus, they said, yes, you can come back, we're going to proceed, would you even want to? Would you even want to? So the topic that was thrown out there was something called hostile work environment. Somebody said, I'd never watched Fox Soul before. Somebody said, Al is so happy. I'm sure Fox Soul will do anything to avoid a lawsuit. It's a shame. So here's the thing. I'm going to break down for you real briefly what hostile work environment is. And then I want to see in the chat, yep, some people are saying, nope, they don't even want to come back. Do you think the show is salvageable? So what a hostile work environment is basically an environment where insults, derogatory behavior, and so forth are so pervasive that it impacts your ability to do your job and continue working. I worked in a hostile environment when I worked at a big firm in New York. And in that hostile environment, we had a partner who literally got kicked out of partnership at his other law firm for sexually harassing a Hispanic woman. And so then he comes over to our firm and just drives us all crazy. Ultimately, what the firm decided to do was, rather than fire him, they came up with the idea of, oh, we'll just give him to the Black girls. They gave him me, a Black associate, and a Black legal secretary, because they decided that Black women are tough. We can take it. Bitch, what? The way I exercised all of my options, in the end, when I was done with those people, I walked away with a package that was worth about $500,000, and they never pulled that shit again with anyone. Here's why. The truth is, and I never had to sue. I never had to sue. And I think that's because one of the things that people think about when it comes to employment law, yeah, you can sue, but you can also get blackballed. So in this situation, now, multiple people who could claim hostile work environment here. Al could claim it based on the way he feels that he's been treated through that roast and other things. And Claudia, in the text messages that Claudia shared with Tasha, Claudia talked about being yelled at and screaming and embarrassing her in meetings and stuff like that, right? So if whoever it is that wants to claim that, what happens is actually what we're seeing right now. Once you claim hostile work environment, the job has to institute an investigation. And they got to separate y'all. That's what we got here. They're on hiatus for 2 weeks because legally, you cannot force somebody to keep going to work every day with somebody who may be creating a hostile environment. So first you have to do the investigation. Then you have to come to a finding, and you must notify everybody involved of the finding. Finding can only be one of two things. Yes, we have a hostile work environment, and this is the culprit, or these are the culprits. So they can come back and say, yes, we have one. Al, you caused it, and Claudia, you caused it too. Y'all two get away from each other. Or they could say, no, we don't have one. Or they could say, yes, we have one, and maybe it's just caused by one of the two. I'm not, the only reason I'm not referencing Armand. Oh, thank you so much, Measured Man. Somebody said, absolutely too far. As an HREO specialist, and we are doing a case study on this, it was too far. He's referring to Armand Wiggins' statement. And even adding Armand in there in this, and feel free to drop more comments in the chat below as an HR specialist. What do you think would be the result of a hostile work environment investigation involving these three? Again, it could be found that Armand, the reason I don't believe that Armand would be a sole culprit here, he's too new. He's simply too new. Also, when you're looking at whether something's a hostile environment, one of the other pieces of evidence that you must investigate, look at, and point to is what are the histories of these workers in the industry. Now, Al, I don't really know much about him. I don't know what he's done beforehand. But if you listen to Mims's breakdown, Mims talks about how Claudia has had a difficult history at every job she's ever had that we're aware of in the industry. We'll start with Real Housewives, right? So at first I thought, well, maybe she just has difficulty working with men, right? The male jobs that she's had that and it's they're kind of in order, but not, is she did the Foxhole with Jamie Foxx. I really like that. I love their chemistry at first, but that one did not work out. There was supposed to be some strife. She and Jamie did not get along. Jamie also does a lot of cocaine, so I really was like, I don't know, that could be his fault. Who knows, And then secondly, she had a show with Vanessa Mitchell, who's he's a comedian, he's a guy. That one didn't go too well. I don't know about their chemistry there. Third, she had Ricky Smiley. That one got real ugly. Fourth, she had one with a guy named Rudy Rush. I'm from Dallas. It was the morning show there. I loved it. And then it started getting weird. Like, Rudy's a comedian, and Rudy would say certain things, and then she would be so angry with, like, it was the same kind of, what is it, tension that I now see with her that, we've seen for months with her and Al, right? So that was Rudy Rush. So what is that? That's 4 different ones. And then we've got Real Houses of Atlanta. I loved her on that. She had really good comebacks, especially when she had some back and forth with Nene. I love that. But again, that didn't work there either. I say that to say, somebody said those comments, let me say. Those comments Claudia made on live, especially, were damaging from an HR perspective. Agreed. So what my point here is, if I were representing Armand or Al in a hostile work environment claim, and I'm trying to basically say my client is not the one creating the hostile environment, it is this other person, what I would point to is, and they had a history. Apparently she also had some issues with Vivica Fox, as well as Lisa Ray, right? So with all of those issues, then that means Foxhole has been aware of other issues. And in fact, it does not matter that it's entertainment. You still can't create those environments. So I actually, when I thought about this, and I want to hear your thoughts, it made me think a lot about Amanda Seales. I love Amanda Seales' work. I think her work is very important. I like Claudia's work in that she really does speak up for Black women. She speaks up and she gives that perspective and so forth. But Amanda Seales can't work with other people. She cannot work with other humans. It has to be her show. We saw her on The Real. It was a good, I thought that was going to be a good, situation for her. She can't get along with nobody. We've seen her on Insecure. She can't get along with nobody. She cannot get along. She's amazing at her job. Claudia is amazing at her job. But my thought is, if the difficulty is working with other humans, they just need a show that's their show. So one of the solutions for a hostile work environment situation here is to give Claudia her own show. But what you can't do is, once you find or determine that this is the creator of it, you can't punish the victim. That's what happened in my situation at my law firm, right? Because the person that was creating a hostile environment was a partner. So they were like, we don't get rid of this associate. We want to keep the partner. The partner is bringing in more money. But legally, you cannot do that. That is literally what's called retaliation. So I'm just giving you I'm giving you an example of, because the most important thing is I want you to understand a hostile work environment. And most importantly, I want you to understand the number one mistake that Black employees, yes, you, if you're watching and you're Black, I'm talking to you, that we all make when we're in these environments is we fail to exercise one of our best options, which is workman's comp. Many people don't realize that workman's comp covers stress leave. So stress leave is something that you are entitled to. What all you have to do is go to a therapist that has experience with stress leave. And if they write you a letter that says, I have examined, I've had a session with this person, and the stress from this job is so severe that I have instructed them to not return to work for X amount of days, you cannot be fired. You are protected under the Americans with Disability Act. So not only can you not be fired, you cannot be retaliated against, and they have to pay you. They have to pay you. That's how you hit a corporation for hostile work environment. Because guess what? Imagine I know I have had 2 people call me where they're in a division. Here we go. They're in a division where they got one crazy boss who's driving everybody else. Everybody was fine. Everybody was fine until this crazy person came in there and started causing havoc. But if everyone files a workman's comp claim, right, for stress leave, then absolutely not. You cannot, then what happens is it triggers the insurance. The insurance does an investigation and says, wait. We got 5 people here claiming and getting money from this insurance policy because this same boss is driving them loony motherfucking toonies. Sorry, I shouldn't have cut. Loony toonies. So what's going to happen is they'll say, we're not going to renew your workman's comp insurance until you fire this crazy person. That's how it works. So somebody said here, those comments Claudia made on live, especially are damaging in an HR perspective. Yes. That's where I feel like that's where your girls need to come in and be like, hey, baby, my girls would have drove to my house. They would have snatched that phone out between my knuckles, because I think that was it also shows how upset she is about this, that how unhinged kind of the situation has become, and why it is so super serious, that it does get attached or get handled. Somebody says 50 Cent, he forgot Michael Rainey Jr. was his employee, and then he backed down. Oh, when he was when he was insulting him. Thank you so much for the super chat, Measured Man. And there was another one here I wanted to cover. Somebody said Claudia is too emotional. Can't share the spotlight. Are Claudia and Lisa Ray friends? I don't know. Somebody said Amanda Seals is problematic. There was a good one. I have to. Yep, she had the YouTube show with Vivica Fox. That might have been where problems had started with the 2 of them, right? Because there was one here. Hold on, I believe. Oh, great question. Somebody said, doesn't stress leave equal FMLA? Baby, let me tell you, does workman's comp equal FMLA? No, but your company will make you think that it does. This is why you need to go to a therapist. You can literally Google stress leave in your state, or you can Google therapists and stress leave, because no, it is not part of FMLA. No, but what they want you to do is say, oh, I'm going through some things. FMLA is for, let's say you have depression. If you have depression that is not caused by your job, that's where FMLA comes in. And the challenge and the issue with FMLA is, in most states, the company doesn't have to pay you to go out on FMLA leave. That is why HR will always push you to take FMLA, because they don't have to pay for that. They have to pay for workman's comp. It is no different if you are working in a hostile environment. Okay. I'm talking, I don't care if you're in a factory, if you're in a hospital, if you're at a law firm, if you work in a doctor's office, if you are working in a hostile environment and that environment is causing you so much stress and havoc, etc., that you can't get up and function, that when you get home, you're taking it out on your kids, you have severe depression, all of these things, you can use something called EAP, which is the Employee Assistance Program. You can use that. Baby, with EAP, if you have that through your company, your therapy sessions are like $20 each, and they are not disclosed to your company. It can be the first start, right? They will get you to someone who could do stress leave. And someone says, yes, and some states don't even recognize stress as part of FMLA. No, stress leave is workman's compensation. What I'm trying to make sure you understand, it is no different than if you were working at a factory and they dropped a box on your foot. If you are working at a company and they are dropping the stress on your heart and the stress on your spirit, such that it is so pervasive that a specialist, that a therapist says, you don't need to come back to work, it's the same and you must be compensated. And I encourage you to use stress leave because I bet you're not alone. And it's the only way that it forces companies to take the appropriate action. Because then that same company, like my company, my law firm that I work for, that decided it was cheaper to get rid of me than to get rid of the partner. Once the insurance company, the workers' compensations insurance company says we won't renew yours unless you get rid of this abusive partner, they didn't have a choice. Okay, you're not gonna listen to this little bad girl, okay, because I'm not worth anything. All right, well, I'm about to mess you up. That's what happens when your mama, my mama, was an insurance underwriter. Okay, so okay, you don't value me. I'm going to cause you to have to value all these other girls that are here where you are imputing this unfair and illegal practice on them. So that's me on my soapbox. I got to wrap up here. You guys, I already have it set. Come back, I think in 30 minutes. We're doing court of public opinion. We're going to talk about a few topics on there. I really enjoyed this. I'm definitely going to be doing this more often. So hit that like button. Make sure you also hit the notification so that in the future, you're going to get that notification when I'm coming live, and head over to my website. Here we go, right here. Make sure you head over to my website and check out my new ebook, Background Checks 101, A Beginner's Guide to Discover Who the Heck You're Dealing with. All right. It's going to be so much fun. We got it. You missed it, but you can run it back, boo. You can run it back. Somebody said your carrier will, yep. Talking about stress leave. Your carrier will drop you or raise your premiums. Exactly. That's why you have to remember we are operating in a capitalist society. These companies, they don't want to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Sometimes you got to force them to do the right thing by making it too expensive to continue doing the wrong thing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we get justice sometimes on the civil law side. Thank you guys. So glad to see you. So glad to have you join it. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out and hit that notification. You head to SimoneRedwine.com. Check out that ebook. Thank you. It's only $12.99 pre-sale.